This study found that our fertility and reproductive health may actually be correlated back to our gut health. Now, this is the craziest study I think I've read in a while. It was just published September of 2025, so it's very recent, but I have to share the results with you because it's crazy. So what they did was they had two separate groups of mice, okay? So this was an animal study. They had germ-free mice, which basically means that they didn't have any bacterial exposure. And basically how it works is whenever we're born, we're just naturally exposed to a lot of bacteria, either from our mother or just from the environment. But these mice had no bacteria, no exposure. And if you watch my other videos, you know that some of these bacteria are very crucial for our health. And then they had another group of mice that were basically control or just normal mice that were brought up, however they were brought up in a normal environment, and they had the bacterial exposure. What they noticed was that those germ-free mice, they had shorter reproductive cycles and reproductive lifespan compared to those normal or control mice. And so this is where the researchers were like, okay, but how do we know that this is related to their gut health, specifically to their digestive health, right? This is the cool part, so please try to follow along. I know it's a lot. What they did was they took those germ-free mice and they just exposed their digestive system, so their gut, to bacteria, and then they wanted to compare and see how that affected reproductive health. And what they noticed was that reproductive lifespan increased just by exposing their gut to those bacteria. Then as a way to put a cherry on top of all of this, what they did was they exposed those same mice to something called short-chain fatty acids, which are basically just things that those bacteria can make in our gut that are good for our overall health. And what they noticed was that actually increased fertility even more, where they observed an increase in primordial follicles in those specific mice. Now, what does all of this mean for us? This means that our digestive health doesn't just connect back to like bloating and abdominal pain and those kinds of things. Our digestive health is linked to many things like brain health, heart health, and now even fertility.